Important note, this video is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decision. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Here's your market briefing from Rumour with AI. Crypto markets are grappling with significant liquidity constraints as Aave files an emergency motion demanding a $300 million bond from Gerstein Harrow. The firm seeks to lift a restraining notice on 30,766 ETH currently frozen in SDNY litigation. This legal standoff highlights the growing friction between decentralized finance protocols and traditional regulatory frameworks. Meanwhile, equity markets are digesting fresh inflation data. The S&P 500 fell 0.4% as investors weighed elevated CPI readings against broader economic uncertainty. In Washington, the Foreign Affairs Journal argues that only Congress can resolve lingering U.S. trade disputes. The administration's current approach is leaving markets exposed to policy ambiguity. On the macro front, today's economic calendar is dense with high-impact releases. At 1400 hours Universal Time Coordinated, the United States will publish the ISM Services PMI, with forecasts expecting a slight dip to 53.7 from the previous 54.0. Simultaneously, JOLTS job openings are due, with analysts predicting 6.9 million openings against a prior 6.882 million. These figures will dictate immediate Federal Reserve rate expectations. In Latin America, political instability is reshaping commodity flows. President Abinader of the Dominican Republic has suspended GoldQuest's Romero project following 20 kilometers of protests. While Barrick's Pueblo Viejo mine remains active, the Halts signals rising social risk for mining investments in the region. Corporate governance shifts are also drawing attention. Adeia has reaffirmed its 2026 revenue guidance of $395 million to $435 million. This outlook persists despite CEO Paul Davis stepping down for health reasons. Strong first-quarter margins provide a buffer during this leadership transition. Energy security strategies are evolving rapidly in Asia. Japan has accepted its first shipment of Russian oil since the Strait of Hormuz closure fears intensified. Teo Oil received crude from the Sakhalin-2 project, marking a decisive shift toward energy diversification. This move underscores the fragility of global supply chains and the urgency of alternative sourcing. Looking ahead to the rest of the day, traders should monitor the balance of trade data. The U.S. forecast predicts a deficit of negative $61.4 billion, down from the previous negative $57.3 billion. Australian trade balances are also in focus, with forecasts pointing to $4.0 billion Australian dollars against a prior $5.686 billion Australian dollars. These trade flows will influence currency valuations across the Pacific and Atlantic. The interplay between regulatory pressure in crypto, trade policy uncertainty in the U.S., and geopolitical shifts in energy and mining creates a complex trading environment. Investors must navigate these overlapping risks carefully. The upcoming PMI and JOLTS data will provide critical clues on the health of the services sector and labor market. That's your market briefing. Follow Rumour with AI for daily market intelligence.